And in this due course of time, I had this great opportunity to meet one of your greatest music ambassadors, Sepultura.
Então,
Yes.
eu queria contar uma história para vocês, né? É uma história que aconteceu alguns anos atrás, quando eu tive a oportunidade de encontrar um dos grandes nomes da música brasileira, né? Um dos grandes embaixadores da música brasileira, que é a banda Sepultura.
Yes, and they were on the stage, and I just had come to sing there, you know, to start this festival as a Tibetan musician, and sorry. And so what happened was, you know, they told me, "Oh, Loten, there is a band from Brazil, and they are amazing people. You must do something with them." And I said, "Yeah, of course, yes." But I didn't know what kind of music they played. So I went there just maybe 10 minutes before the concert when they started. I just went there and I was like, kind of, wow, they have such an energy, you know, heavy metal. So, you know, I felt so energized, and they invited me on the stage and they said, "You sing with us." And so we did one of the most energetic, amazing song for Tibet. And it was so wonderful. So I hope one day I will be able to come to Brazil with my friends from of Sepultura. And they are amazing people. And I guess people in Brazil are also, I know that they are very energetic. You love music. So I hope one day I will come alive, you know, with this music of Tibet.
Então foi uma ocasião muito interessante, porque na verdade eu não os conhecia. E daí alguns amigos me disseram assim, olha, você deveria conhecer essa banda brasileira, né? É muito boa. E daí eu fui pro show e eu cheguei assim, como se fossem 10 minutos antes deles subirem no palco. E daí eu me disseram, olha, eu acho que eles querem cantar com você. E eu nem sabia que tipo de música era exatamente. Mas daí a gente subiu no palco, a gente começou a cantar junto e foi uma energia muito forte, assim. Eles têm uma energia muito intensa. Claro, né, uma banda de heavy metal, mas eles fazem um tipo de música muito intenso, muito bonito. E daí a gente fez uma canção lindíssima pelo Tibete, e eu realmente espero que eu possa estar no Brasil ao vivo com vocês num futuro próximo.
So, who am I? You might wonder, who is this man with the white beard, long hair, you know, and with this dress? I'm a Tibetan singer. I was born in Darjeeling in India after 1959, soon after 1959. And I grew up in Dharamsala. That's where His Holiness Dalai Lama has his residence. And I grew up as a little boy under his compassion, under his great care, and so much love. And although, you know, we went through such difficult times, you know, coming from the high mountains over 4,000 meters, and then suddenly we are in the plains of India where there was where it was hot, and we couldn't speak the language. There were so many problems. And despite all these problems, I think we Tibetans, as refugees under His Holiness Dalai Lama's leadership, and my parents and their time and their, you know, kind of their generation, they gave us so much. And today, what I sing are the songs that are taught to me by my previous generation, I mean, the generation of my parents, and I try to bring it to the world. And I sing these traditional songs, but at the same time, like I told you before, I sang with Sepultura, and I have a band called Porok Karpo. It's a rock band. I also did with punk bands. I did with other jazz bands. So I like fusion. So because fusion is something like you can, it's a bridge between cultures and people. So so today, as I said, I will be teaching you, you know, how to sing one Tibetan song, and if it goes well, we could do another one. But I will do a song called Pema. But before that, I want to just make you all feel comfortable, and I will sing you some songs so that your ear gets kind of little bit kind of used to the sounds of, and the music and the voices of Tibet from the high mountains to Brazil.
Uhum. Bom, então vocês devem estar se perguntando quem é esse homem de barba branca na frente de vocês. E eu digo para vocês que eu sou um tibetano, né, nascido culturalmente tibetano. Eu nasci um pouco depois de 1959, eu nasci em Darjeeling, na Índia, mas rapidamente me mudei para Dharamsala, que é a residência de Sua Santidade Dalai Lama, e lá, sob a proteção dele, eu cresci como um menino bem alegre, bem feliz. Sou muito grato por essa proteção, né, e por toda essa orientação que nós recebemos de Sua Santidade e dos meus pais e da geração dos meus pais. Então, foi uma época muito difícil para a gente, vocês podem imaginar, pessoas saídas das altas montanhas dos Himalaias, de repente foram parar nas planícies secas, né, quentes da Índia, sem saber falar a língua. Então, tinham muitos desafios, mas nós, felizmente, conseguimos superar esses desafios com a proteção e orientação desses grandes professores. E eu tenho muita alegria, né, de dizer que, enquanto artista, tive a oportunidade de usar música para levar essas mensagens para todo canto. E hoje eu vim aqui ensinar para vocês uma dessas nossas músicas tradicionais, que é a Pema. Eu espero que a gente possa aprendê-la juntos. Se a gente conseguir fazer isso rápido, a gente pode até tentar outra música. E o importante é assim, eu gosto muito de fusões, né? Eu gosto muito de experimentações. Então, eu já toquei com bandas de rock, eu tenho a minha própria banda de rock, eu já toquei com bandas punk, eu já toquei com bandas de jazz, eu já fiz todo tipo de fusão e eu me interesso, como artista, eu me interesso por fusões. Eu gosto de coisas novas. Então, eu queria convidar vocês para que a gente possa fazer coisas novas.
So, if you have some problems with the sound or kind of, the melody, which is very different from, I know, the Brazilian songs that you usually hear and dance. So the best, I've been traveling all over the world with my music, and I always say, if the music doesn't go so well in the ear, then just close your eyes and just imagine you're somewhere in the mountains in your area, or just imagine the mountains of Himalayas, and then suddenly everything will go very soothingly inside. Okay? So I'm going to blow the conch shell, and this conch shell is the oldest instrument on this earth. So Tibet was once, an ocean. It was an ocean of great it spread so wide and high. Even it is said that it reached the high skies of whatever. So this instrument was found somewhere in the mountains of Tibet, and I'm going to first blow this to invite all the gods and goddesses down here to your rooms and in my room, so that there will be peace. They will bless us with so much of love, and also cure. At the moment, the most difficult thing is the coronavirus, and sometimes I say it's the coronavirus from China, and it is true, it is from Wuhan. So I just will blow this, and for this very moment, the whole of all this disease or whatever virus will be gone, and so I will start blowing this. In the meantime, you can explain.
Então agora eu vou tocar essa implantada em algum lugar dos Himalaias, e eu tenho ela aqui em casa. Eu estou tocando ela para despertar, para trazer para as nossas casas todos os deuses e deusas, para que a gente possa ser abençoado neste momento, principalmente para pedir que a gente tenha proteção nesse momento que a gente está sendo afligido. Que tudo isso possa ficar em paz.
So now the gods are here. So first, I will sing your song. It's called Amaleho, and it was sung by or written by a poem by the sixth Dalai Lama. So it says, "Oh, white crane, lend me your wings. I fly not far away. From Litang I shall return." And the seventh Dalai Lama was born in Litang.
Então agora eu vou cantar uma canção que foi, na verdade, baseada em um texto composto pelo sexto Dalai Lama para o sétimo Dalai Lama, que conta a história de uma garça branca.
Okay, chadi tulu kamu shokse ngale ya the thirty jana the tampo de debi. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Some technical problem.
Tem alguns problemas técnicos aí que a gente já vai resolver.
Okay, so close your eyes and you are in the mountains of Tibet.
Fechem os olhos e imaginem que vocês estão nas montanhas tibetanas.
Yeah, so this is a song by the sixth Dalai Lama. Sixth Dalai Lama came actually from this present India, from Mentawang. So I love singing these songs. But by the way, you know, I'm and what do you call? You may hear a little bit of the Tibetan singing has a very pentatonic, melodic kind of this passionful, painful kind of a fado a little bit of a fado singing touch here. So most of the songs you will hear also, maybe I think it's good because then, since you're used to the fado singing, probably you might get it a little bit better in your ears.
Então essa música é uma música que eu gosto muito de tocar. Ela é uma música que foi composta, como eu disse, pelo sexto Dalai Lama, que veio de uma região determinada aqui da Índia. E é muito típico, né, da música tibetana, esses melismas, né, essas variações que a gente observa na voz, e daí a gente sente como se fosse tem uma certa dor, né, uma certa paixão nesse jeito de cantar, e lembra um pouco até o fado português. Então, quem está acostumado com o fado vai sentir algum tipo de familiaridade com o canto tibetano.
Yeah, the song today, again, which we are going to sing, and I think that I want to thank Mila, yes, and then Valentine, Tibet House for inviting me to this wonderful new world for me to come and introduce my songs of Tibet. So I wanted to thank you from the beginning, but at least now I remember it. And yeah, so the song I'm going to teach you today is called Pema. And Pema is a song sung by the Tibetans in Tibet, especially from Amdo region of Tibet. And the word Aku means uncle, Pema means the lotus. And it could also mean, actually in praise of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama. So I'm going to sing this just as a part of this first concert, and then I will teach you later on. So you have an idea. You have been listening to this song on perhaps, I think Mila and Valentin sent you earlier about the songs. So you have a little bit of an idea. So I will play a live of Pema.
Então, a gente vai tocar hoje a canção Pema. Aku significa tio e Pema significa lótus. Nessa canção, a gente também pode entender que esse personagem representa Sua Santidade, o 14º Dalai Lama. Eu queria aproveitar também e agradecer a Tibet House Brasil, agradecer o diretor Jimmy Tselling, agradecer o Valentim também, agradecer principalmente pelo convite de estar nesse universo que é tão novo para mim. Então, agora, vocês já ouviram a Pema quando eu estava tocando agora há pouco, mas eu quero mostrar para vocês ao vivo.
Yeah, and just before I start singing this, and this instrument is called Danyan. Danyan means the melodious one. So this instrument came from, actually, of course, all the Danyans are made in Tibet or, later on in India. But this instrument, especially the one I'm holding, it came from Tibet because for a long time, not only that I've been singing, but I always wished for, a Tibetan instrument made in Tibet by the Tibetans. So last year, my ex-wife, the mother of my children, she went to Tibet. Unfortunately, my children, they cannot go to Tibet because I'm Tibetan, but my ex-wife, she's Swiss, so she could go, but my kids could not go because the Chinese government said, no way. So unfortunately, they could not go, but she bought me this instrument, and this is very symbolically, it's very kind of precious for me. So I'm going to sing Pema with this.
Então, eu queria contar para vocês que instrumento é esse. Esse instrumento é chamado Janyan, ou melodioso, né? Seria a tradução desse nome. Ele é um instrumento tibetano que depois começou a ser fabricado na Índia também. Mas por muito tempo eu sonhei em ter um instrumento tibetano feito por tibetanos. E foi há pouco tempo atrás que a minha ex-mulher, mãe dos meus filhos, conseguiu visitar o Tibete e trouxe para mim. Infelizmente, os meus filhos não podem entrar no Tibete porque eu sou tibetano. Então, o governo chinês não permite que eles entrem. Mas minha ex-mulher conseguiu entrar e trouxe esse instrumento para mim.
So that was Pema, which you will learn today.
Então, essa canção foi a Pema que a gente vai aprender hoje.
So I want to sing you, this is now the first song I sang is from the 6th Dalai Lama, and this is the classical song of Tibet, which is called Nangma, and the second part, the second song just now what I sang, it's a folk song. So then we have also the spiritual songs of Tibet, and I'm going to sing you one song by one of the greatest Tibetan, yogi, and his name is Mila Repa, Mila Repa. So Mila Repa, mostly his teachings are practiced by the Kagyu tradition of Tibet, and you know we have the Kagyu, Nyingma, Geluk, Sakya, and then we have the Pen. So these are 5 different schools of thought. I don't say sect because for me sect is not a very nice name because it is too narrow. But I always say schools of thoughts. So we have 5 different schools of thought, as I said before. Sakya, Nyingma, Geluk, Kagyu, and Pen. Pen is the pre-Buddhist religion of Tibet. I'm sure you are well versed with all this. You're connected to Tibet House. But still, you know, maybe there are people who don't know. So I will go a little bit into this explanation so that you have a clear, more deeper understanding of what I'm doing here today.
Então, eu comecei cantando uma canção que é do sexto Dalai Lama. Depois eu cantei a Pema, que é uma canção mais popular, né, uma canção mais folk. E eu vou agora entrar nas canções espirituais do Tibete, né? O Tibete tem essa tradição das canções espirituais. Essa que eu vou tocar para vocês agora, ela é uma canção que ela tá ligada a um dos grandes yogis, um dos grandes mestres espirituais tibetanos, né, do Tibete, que é o Mila Repa. Os ensinamentos de Mila Repa, eles são muito praticados na escola Kagyu do budismo tibetano. O budismo tibetano ele é dividido em 5 escolas de pensamento. Seriam as escolas Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya e Gelug. E existe uma 5ª escola de pensamento que seria o Bon. E o Bon ele é como se fosse uma religião pré-budismo do Tibete. Eu sei que talvez vocês já conheçam essas tradições, eu vou explicar para aqueles que não conhecem, para que estejam familiarizados com o que eu estou fazendo aqui.
So these songs, they were sung in such a beautiful melody by, even by Mila Repa himself. When he gave teachings, he sang so beautifully, melodiously, because, it was meant that when he sang beautifully, when it was so beautifully and melodic, then people would come and listen, even if they don't understand right away the meaning of the song, but because of the melodious, beautiful voice and the sound of Jitan Mila Repa, people came to him and listened to these beautiful voices and the sounds and the melodies. And so later on, then they came down to the main, the meaning of the song. So that's how it is kind of a way to propagate or to bring religion to the people, especially to the people in the villages. So that's how most of the Mila Repa songs, they are sung. He wrote about 1,000 songs in his life, and most of them are sung most melodically. I was once, I had this great opportunity to really be blessed by one of the greatest Kagyu masters, Poka Rinpoche. Before he died, I met him, and he gave me the empowerment to sing these songs of Mila Repa. So ever since, I've been trying to propagate or to bring these songs, beautiful songs, especially melodically, in the beautiful melody, so that people will understand, not just the teachings, but also the great singing culture of Tibet, the spiritual. So yeah, I'm going to do that.
Então, é importante lembrar que quando Mila Repa ele cantava, ele fazia questão de que esse cantar fosse bonito, fosse agradável para os ouvidos. Porque caso as pessoas não conseguissem entender os ensinamentos, pelo menos elas se aproximariam da beleza da música, né? Então, eu tive a oportunidade de conhecer um dos grandes mestres da escola Kagyu, que é o Poka Rinpoche, e ele me deu a iniciação, ele me deu a permissão de cantar as mais de 1.000 músicas que Mila Repa compôs, e é isso que eu tenho tentado fazer. Além de disseminar os ensinamentos, mostrar para as pessoas a tradição musical tibetana.
So this is a tradition called gur. So in Tibet, we have the traditional singing, the folk singing, and then usually the gurs sung for religious purposes. And of course, you know, most of you in the West, you are acquainted with the, a deep singing of the monks by the tantric practitioners or the Gyude monks. In traditional Tibet, all these songs, especially done by the, especially in the West, it has become such a great, how do you say, mode or a fashion to do this very, this, so this is actually a very secret kind of art of singing, done only in the monastic lives, in the monastery itself. But of course, when Tibet lost her country, then all these things, of course, became very exotic and also became part of the, exhibition of the Tibetan culture. And so the monks, they travel around and we can share all these things. But as I said today, I'll be singing more the traditional songs. And I also did probably, I think, Valentine, I think you put the link of my Rajasthani folk songs. Did you put it in the, on your, you can watch it also. Then I have also the Poro Karpo is more the rock. Then I have the heavy metal. Then I have the punk. So I did different versions of, tests because, we are now in the diaspora and there's so much to learn. And there's also so much that we Tibetans can give to the world. And that's why as a little boy, what was given to me, I preserved it, I felt it, I loved it. And I said that because Tibet, is taken away from my heart, but, in the sense I cannot be there, but my heart continues with the feeling of these great songs passed over to me by my parents. So now I'm going to start, of course, I will be singing and also doing other things for you. And at the same time, you can also ask me questions because, I'm not here to just tell you something, but I want to also clear your doubts and also about, you can ask on any matters as such. So I will try to answer them. And after this translation that Valentine will do, I will start teaching Pema. So in the meantime, please take out the text, which I think Valentine and Jingila sent to you. I hope you have it in front of you. So, and you have the text translated by Jingila and Valentine. And so I don't have to go really deeper into it. So since you have read it, this song is a very precious song for Tibetans, especially the song kind of resembles or symbolizes the great compassion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to the people of Tibet. And it's a yearning song for Tibetans inside Tibet to ask His Holiness the Dalai Lama to come back to Tibet. So can you explain that?
Então, essa música, né, que eu toquei agora, ela está num estilo de canto que a gente chama de gur, que é um estilo monástico, na verdade, né? Isso é ensinado dentro dos monastérios porque tem propósito religioso. Então, ele ficou muito popular, na verdade, no Ocidente, esse tipo de canto, né? Porque quando nós perdemos o Tibete, né? Quando nós fomos exilados, é claro que tudo isso acabou saindo do Tibete e indo para o mundo todo. E daí acabou se tornando, então, uma coisa exótica, mística, e atraiu muito a atenção das pessoas, que é esse canto mais grave, né? Então, então o que a gente vai fazer
Prost,
agora,
Prost.
o que
Drinking Tibetan tea.
eu tô bebendo chá tibetano. O que a gente vai fazer
The Tibetan
agora,
monk.
das montanhas do Tibete. O que a gente vai fazer agora, na verdade, é praticar, né, a Pema, e eu espero que a gente possa ter aqui a tradução, né, e toda a letra, conforme foi traduzido pelo Digme, e também tem os símbolos fonéticos para que vocês possam cantar junto. Então, eu vou pedir para que daqui a pouco vocês liguem os microfones de vocês. E eu tenho muita alegria, tenho muito orgulho de que, apesar do Tibete ter sido arrancado do meu coração enquanto um lugar, né, porque eu não posso voltar para lá, o Tibete continua vivo dentro de mim por meio dessas canções que eu aprendi dos meus pais. Então, eu gostaria muito de compartilhar isso com vocês.
So maybe some of you are musicians, I guess. Can you just give me a yes on your thing? If you're not musician, but I think many in the West, especially in Brazil, since you know music so well, because Brazil is a land of musical culture. So, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, or all that kind of different beats, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or, you know, the simple ones. So this is based on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Kupen Mahe. So, you know, that's kind of the beat. But, you know, in Tibet, in the olden times, we really didn't have beats as such, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, kind of. I mean, this in the song itself there was, but it was not kind of consciously as we here in the West. You know, I started knowing about beats only when I came to Switzerland. Before I didn't know 1, 2, 3, 4, but now I know 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, so you know this is a little bit of a cultural thing. Because in the mountains, you know, we have our songs in the mountains for centuries. And this 1, 2, 3, 4 beat things, it's a Western kind of a culture that made things easier for you to play when you are in a group. But in the mountains, wherever you go, in the traditional mountains where people just live and love to sing, we don't have these beats. But if we had beats, I always say the mountains are our beats, you know, because in the mountains there are different peaks, you know, and the Himalayan mountains, the mountains have peaks. So the pointed peaks of all the mountains are the heights of all the beats. So, you know, so it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So, you know, 1, 2, you know, 1 and 2 and or that kind of thing. So I kind of always imagined mountains as my, beat whenever I sing. So we can sing it very freely, or we can sing on 1, 2, 3, 4, but that doesn't really matter. You can hear it, you know. So I will just sing the first stanza. So basically, this song is very easy to learn because it's just almost one melody, you know. So we have phrases, you know, like we have musical phrases, but most of our songs are the phrases of the poem or whatever. So in our culture, first comes the poem, written by a great master or just by, for example, there's a tradition in saying in Tibet that the music or the songs that Tibetans sung came from actually the, a well, well, like a tromba. Tromba means a well where you get water. So when the ladies went to get water, they heard these melodies from the well because it was sung by one of the spirits in the well. And when they came back to their home, they could sing these beautiful melodies. So there are different ways of, describing, who really made those songs. But basically, it's a very romantic way to say that the songs came from the well. But in some way, it is true. People believe that. So it's, I don't know how we can do it because I don't know, I cannot follow you guys listening to me. So should I just, because this is the first time I'm doing, so we need to find a way that I can also hear you. So how many people?
Let me just translate the past two sessions, and then I'll also coordinate with them how to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Então, eu sei que na tradição ocidental vocês têm outras formas, né, de estudar música. E eu também sei que no Brasil existe uma cultura musical muito forte. Então, por isso, talvez muitos de vocês já tenham algum tipo de técnica, algum nível de técnica musical. Existem, por exemplo, as batidas, né? E essas batidas, que podem ser 1, 2, 3, 4, ou podem ser 1, 2, 1, 2, ou qualquer outro tipo de batida, elas são muito utilizadas para a gente cantar e tocar em grupo, né? Mas é claro que elas não existiam antigamente, né? O povo das montanhas sempre cantou e a gente não usava esse tipo de batida. Então, quando a gente estava nas montanhas, a gente usava o pico das montanhas para contar as batidas. Se vocês olharem para os Himalaias, vocês vão perceber que as montanhas têm picos. Então, a gente olhava para os picos e os picos eram os altos e os baixos, né? Como se fosse 1, 2, 1, 2, pensando em cada pico, em cada subida e descida. Então, a gente vai, é claro, usar essa métrica, esse ritmo, essa batida ocidental para que a gente possa cantar junto. E a Pema é uma música que trabalha com esse ritmo em 4 tempos, né? E daí é legal também lembrar que essas músicas populares, elas têm um folclore por trás delas. Então, o que as pessoas contam é que as letras, elas vieram do poço, né? Quando as mulheres iam pegar água, buscar água do poço, elas ouviam os espíritos, né? Eles acreditavam que haviam espíritos nesses poços, e as mulheres ouviam esses espíritos cantando, e por isso que elas voltavam para casa cantando essas músicas, porque haviam ouvido essas músicas no poço. É claro que isso é uma forma romântica, né? Uma forma bela de transmitir a história das músicas, mas as pessoas realmente acreditam nisso. Então agora eu mandei para vocês no chat, né? Valentim, mandei para vocês no bate-papo 2 imagens JPEG que eu vou pedir para que vocês cliquem e abram elas, porque elas têm a letra da música e em fonética tibetana, e elas têm também a tradução para o português, para que vocês conheçam a letra, o que é que a letra diz. E vai ser muito importante que vocês possam abrir e ter a letra aí com vocês, tá bom? Eu gostaria de saber se todo mundo aqui conseguiu achar. Vocês conseguiram achar os arquivos?
Yeah. So what we do is now, I will just sing one, and then you listen to me, and perhaps I don't know how your coordinate is going to be like that. So I can hear you also singing, so that individually or together, is there a way that we can all hear together? That you all unmute yourself? Can you unmute all yours so that I can hear you from each one of you? Can you say hello to me?
Eu gostaria que vocês saíssem do mudo, vocês se desmutassem e vocês dissessem oi.
Oi.
Hello.
Hello.
Oi.
Can you all say hello one together? 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Olá.
Hello.
Oh yeah, are you enjoying?
Bom
Are you-
dia.
Are you enjoying?
Yes.
Vocês estão gostando?
Okay, good. So I will now you are all hearing me and I can hear you. Let's sing together. Aku Pema. First, I will sing the first stanza, so you can just listen to it. And do you have the paper in front of you? The phonetics.
Yes.
Yes. No, do you have the phonetic? Yeah, the text.
Yeah, I sent to them already.
Okay.
Just one,
Not the music, just the
Yeah.
text, the phonetic.
just a second. I'm gonna share with them.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So it's still. I'll just sing one more for your ears, so that you have an idea on which pitch I play. This is the pitch. Okay. Are you ready, everybody?
Vocês estão prontos?
Yes.
So you just hum with me, okay? First,
Então é
you
só
do
se
humming,
juntar a mim.
not the text, but the humming. Ah, open my head. So that's thing. So you sing together with me, okay? Just
Agora
first
vocês
listen to
podem, agora
maybe
vocês
the
podem
humming.
cantar
Yes.
comigo.
So you know it's so you have to imagine this good means the falcon, you know, the eagle, you know, the hawk that flies so high up in the skies where there is, it's like a Tibetan sky is the, you know, like the turquoise color, blue color. So, you know, you imagine yourself as a falcon, you know, this eagle, you know, the hawk. There are different ways of saying that. So you imagine yourself and then you sing.
Cantor tibetano.
So,
Que tá naquela...
okay, first let's see about the phonetic that you, can you pronounce it with me together?
론델라.
Vamos olhar.
translate 마지막에 견해 계셔야 돼. 고추 수고 뭐로 건조. 인지지구나.
Okay. Okay.
Let me translate.
Okay, Valentin, translate.
Então,
Ele pode.
aqui tem a tradução para o português. Então,
É da águia.
a gente estava na primeira frase, né, que é ó poderosa águia adornada com uma listra branca como uma concha.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Yes. One.
You, every time you tell me Loten, yes. So let's first read the text, the phonetic, what you have, okay? And you repeat after me. Aku.
Pema.
Aku.
Say,
Aku. Pema.
Aku Pema.
Aku.
Aku.
Aku Pema.
Pema. Aku
Aku
Pema.
Aku Pema.
Aku Pema.
Aku Pema.
Aku Pema.
Yes, good. Okay, now the next. Good. Tankar.
Good.
Tanka.
Good. Thang Dung
Drung.
Gi
Drink.
Gi
King.
Show
Cho.
Go
Go.
Chen.
King.
So I will say one word and you repeat after that one word. Okay? Valentin, can you say that?
Eu vou falar uma palavra e vocês repetem depois, palavra por palavra.
É melhor.
Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Go.
Good.
Thang.
Tongue.
Kar.
Car.
Tung. Ki. Show.
Show.
Go.
Go.
Chen.
Chen.
Yes.
King.
Go. Thang Dungi Shogo Chen. So it's like this. Okay? Go.
Good.
Good.
Han.
Thumb.
Dung.
G.
Gi. Show.
Go.
Go. Chen.
King.
Chen. Chen.
King.
Okay. Now the next sentence. Yar.
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 Pur.
Pur.
Say pur.
Pur.
Yeah. Na.
Na.
Gung.
Gung.
Ki.
Ki.
Yen.
Gin.
Yen.
Gen.
Yeah. Shik.
Shik.
Hey. Hey. Yar purna gungi genshik re. And then the next is.
Nakange. Gensi. Shik.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So. Ahaku pen mahe. Say. Ahaku. Pen ma ye. So there's ye. So 1, 2, 3 together. Yeah, very good. Ahaku pen. So together, the starting point is very important. Okay, so let's start together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. Very good. So we go to the next sentence. Tankar. Tankar.
Şuna conversação.
Head down, head like this. Tongue, yes, exactly. Tankar. Dungi. Dogo. Chennayin. Yeah, Chennayin. Okay, so read. Let's say this again. One together. Ahaku pen mahaye.
Pema.
Getankar
Drungi ke.
Okay, you just sing together. Now you sing together. I think it's better you sing together, okay? You sing together with me.
Hello. Mandela.
Go.
Tanda mit sama malawa je mit dinane kunjunane tanda di volunteer ni sumji lam di mada nga delay shu do digi changma nyamdo kyor thumda mi ni sum and di tanda de kola nga tanda the volunteer
Two people. Me.
어디 sonda minira ni tamra and koran changma amje nyenye dig ba
Okay, Valentin,
Hi.
can you make 2 people each?
Sure. Pessoal, a gente vai fazer agora voluntário. Então, quem puder e quiser, pode, por exemplo, cantar depois do Loten a primeira frase, vamos dizer assim. E daí a gente consegue fazer isso sem o delay, né?
Okay. Are you ready?
Quem poderia se voluntariar a cantar a primeira frase?
Mandela.
Lala.
민니를 랍겨도 치다니 시간을 상 암정해야 되고.
이렇게 해요 말해. 뒤손다 고조를. 이 남자. So we start by 2 people repeating with me, okay?
Então, 2 pessoas. Será que a Joana e a Silvia poderiam começar?
Okay.
Okay. Pema
Pema. Getankar.
Dungi Shoko Chennai Yarapuna Gungi So since there's a little bit of a technical thing, not a bad connection, but it's still. So I'm going to say this again and again. I'm going to sing it. So you listen to me and sing together yourself. Okay? Valentin.
Hi.
Are you listening?
Yes. Yeah. It was a little bit low.
What?
It was a little bit low. Can you repeat?
I said, can you tell them I'm going to sing this again and again, and then they sing together themselves.
Ele vai cantar o Pema de novo, e daí vocês podem cantar junto por conta de vocês. Should they have the mic on?
No, without the mic on.
Então vocês cantam, mas sem microfone.
Put off the music, put off everything. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's practice together so you can sing it as you want in your own house, so you don't have to feel shy.
Então vocês, por favor, cantem junto na sua casa. Vocês não precisam se sentir intimidados, né? E no tempo certo.
And I will sing it very slowly for you.
Eu vou cantar bem devagar.
Open my head. So everybody repeat, sing with me. So, Valentin, you tell them that if they get this melody, the two melodies I sang, then all the melodies are same, okay?
Então, se vocês conseguiram aprender a cantar esse primeiro verso, essa primeira melodia, ela só se repete idêntica nos outros versos.
Do you hear my Jamyen and my song well?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. That's at least good. Okay, so tell them that just they can do the humming if they like, you know.
Se vocês quiserem, vocês podem cantarolar a música, né? Vocês podem fazer
like this.
Se a pronúncia for muito difícil para vocês, vocês podem fazer dessa forma.
Okay, so I'm going to always repeat the same again and again, so you hum, okay?
Então, eu vou fazer isso de novo e de novo, né? Vou cantar esse verso de novo e vocês podem fazer dessa forma.
Again. Good tangar dungi shogochen. Okay, so everybody just now without the instrument, just with the voice slowly.
Então, eu vou fazer sem o instrumento, só voz.
So just we repeat, okay? Ku. You repeat after me.
Então, agora vocês podem ligar o microfone e repetir depois de mim.
Pema. Pema.
Pema.
Yeah, yes.
Pema.
Kar. Dung. Show. Chin.
Chin.
Okay, so it's very nice, you know. So you're doing it very well. So aku pema ge thankar dungi chogo chen yar purna dungi genshik re. Okay, and the next is mar bhavna thagi kishik re ke mena thakting tongba re. So you just listen to my. I don't expect, or you don't expect to learn it today right away, everything. But since you know the song a little bit, you can hear it from me, and you can hear my YouTube songs. So then you know what you can do is, if you like still to sing, I can always reconnect to Tibet House, and we can always do something in future.
Então, é claro que a gente não precisa aprender isso de uma vez, né? Vocês podem ir ouvindo aos poucos e ouvindo também os links que o Dig me mandou para vocês. E daí a gente vai se conectando, né? E vai aprendendo aos poucos.
Yes, and maybe one day when coronavirus is over, I can come to Brazil and do some concerts and do some singing teachings.
E daí no futuro eu espero que eu possa visitar o Brasil, a gente possa fazer alguns shows e umas aulas de música.
So the thing is, I'm going to sing now, and you just sing along with me, or you hum, depending on how you want, and we will sing the whole song, and you just do the humming or whatever. Just try to get the melody, okay?
Então agora a gente vai fazer de novo. E daí vocês podem simplesmente sussurrar a melodia.
So sing with me. Valentin.
Yeah.
Tell them to sing with me together.
Vocês podem cantar com ele.
It doesn't matter if it sounds like a donkey or like anything, but it's the first try, you know. So don't worry.
Não importa se ficar, né, se sair de alguma forma assim amador, importa a gente tentar.
Don't feel shy.
Não se sintam intimidados.
Okay, together, let's rock. Just as I did with the Sepultura, I had no idea who Sepultura, and I did something, and it worked. So let's do Sepultura trick here.
Então, juntos, vamos arrasar, né, como eu fiz com Sepultura.
So you do like, I'm the Sepultura, Tibetan Sepultura, and you are all listening to me and singing with me.
Então vamos fazer como se eu fosse a versão tibetana do Sepultura e vocês todos estão ouvindo e cantando junto comigo.
Okay?
Certo?
Together, okay? Aku Pema It's like a mantra. Again. So I want to hear from you, okay? Doesn't matter. You sing it now.
Agora eu gostaria de ouvir vocês cantando. Não importa como sair. Eu só gostaria de ouvir vocês.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Don't worry, I don't see you, so don't worry.
Não se preocupem porque eu não consigo ver vocês.
Okay, I play the lute, okay?
Eu vou tocar o instrumento e daí vocês cantam.
Okay, sing together with me. Okay, together. Very good, very good.
Nossa senhora, meu.
I think you did it very well. This is very good.
Thank you.
Eu acho que vocês fizeram muito. Tá ótimo.
You know, it is just an introduction, and now I will take up the second song. The second song is much easier. Okay.
Oh.
So you have an idea of this singing, because I'm near you. I could teach you more, kind of more intimately. But now, since we have a long distance, but still, now you have an idea, you know, of Tibetan singing. So it's very in your Western notation, it is more the pentatonic, you know, pentatonic, 5 tones. So there is another song, and this is a little bit easier. Actually, I also said it's called Achila. Say A, Chi, La,
Na,
Do.
Do.
Yeah. So Achila Do. So now you have an idea. So you tonight with Pema, okay?
Então, essa música, o Pema, ela é uma música um pouco mais elaborada, mais sofisticada, então um pouco mais difícil realmente de cantar, né? Ela tem essa escala pentatônica e esses melismas, né? Mas eu vou ensinar uma música um pouco mais fácil de se cantar, mais simples, que é essa que a gente repetiu o nome agora.
So the second song I'm going to teach you very shortly so that you have an idea again is it's called Achila Do, and Achila Do is a song about telling the, you know, describing the important places in Tibet.
Então, essa música que eu vou ensinar rapidamente para vocês, o Achila Do, é uma música que descreve os locais importantes do Tibete.
For example, it says Hasa Macha, Hasa Cha, Hasa Chumutela Chinsmin. Hasa, you know, was made by the priests, you know, when they build, how do you say, the Chokang and, you know, the area there, it was once water, so they covered it with, you know, for example, it is said in the mythology or also in Tibetan history that it was once a water and it was covered by by the people. They covered the lake to build Lhasa, the city of Lhasa. So it's kind of a story that, and then it describes the important pilgrimage places in Tibet, Drepung, Sera, and then also Ganden. All these are important places. So it's like a story. It's a song book of telling or describing the important places. It's like a journey book, in a song, describing the important places in Tibet.
Então, essa música é uma música que é como se fosse um diário, né? De uma jornada pelos lugares importantes, os pontos mais importantes do Tibete. Por exemplo, ela conta a história de Lhasa, né? A capital. E ela vai contar essa parte da história que está na mitologia tibetana, mas também é considerada parte da história, que é o fato de que aquela região, ela era uma região que era um lago, e as pessoas, com suas próprias mãos, conseguiram cobrir esse lago para construir em cima dele a cidade de Lhasa, né? E junto com ele todos os importantes mosteiros, né? Sera, Drepung, Ganden, né? Então essa é uma música muito importante e historicamente, né? Como se você estivesse viajando pelo Tibete.
Yeah. So I think so I will sing this song and you just feel the melody, and it's less rhythmic than Pema. So maybe it's very easy to get it.
Então eu vou cantar essa música. Ela é muito menos melodiosa do que o Pema, então talvez seja mais fácil de vocês acompanharem.
So the most important thing, as you all know, as you Brazilians, a great lover of music is for joy. Music is for happiness. Music, when you sing, the true singing is when you come out from the deepest of your heart. So this is singing. And when you sing without without coming it out of the heart, then singing is just very technical and it's not very interesting, But the singing must come out from the depth of your heart, like the song coming out of the well,
Então, como vocês brasileiros sabem, a música ela foi feita para celebrar, né? Ela é uma manifestação de alegria. Então, ela tem que expressar essa alegria, né? É como se a gente estivesse expressando essa alegria do fundo da alma, dos nossos corações.
I always say jokingly, when a religion doesn't bring you happiness, then you have to change your religion. Otherwise, you're going to have a big problem. So when singing doesn't bring you happiness, then you must better do something to dig deeper into your heart and find who you are and what is the purpose of life.
Então, eu sempre falo de maneira, né, jocosa, né, brincando. Se uma religião não traz alegria para o seu coração, então talvez seja a hora de você procurar outra religião. Igualmente, eu digo que se uma música não traz alegria para o seu coração, é muito importante que você procure mais fundo na sua alma onde está essa alegria.
If singing makes you more and more, kind of uptight, so more and more kind of, difficult to, your whole physical thing becomes, then you become more serious. Singing has to be very light. And likewise, religion has to be very light. Religion must bring joy and happiness, kindness and compassion. This is what His Holiness the Dalai Lama is always saying. So here, what I'm trying to do is trying to be a little bit kind of, firstly, to get into a little bit of what is the art of Tibetan singing, our culture, a little bit of explaining, and then, we just sing together. So just listen to this, and you will feel the flow of these beautiful places in Tibet, where once, amazing things happen. So you listen to me, okay?
Então, é importante que a religião e a música tragam alegria para a gente, né? Tem que ser leve. Se deixar a gente sisudo, se deixar a gente pesado, não está cumprindo com o seu objetivo. Isso é o que Sua Santidade Dalai Lama sempre diz. Então, eu vou pedir agora que vocês cantem junto comigo.
Achila do Hesamacha Hesacha Achila do Hesamacha Hesacha Achila do Le samacha le sachayu sa chumu ting la chayu a chi ala tu a ji dora tamo dore nangi tamo a chi ala tu Achila do Chando macha Chando di chayu Achila do Chando macha Chando chayu Achila do Chando macha chando chayu chando chuni pala chayu achiyara tu aji dora tamu dore nangi tamu achiyara tu Achila do Sera macha Sera di chayu Achila do Sera macha Sera chayu Achila do Sera macha sera chayu, sera silki ting la chayu, achi ala tu. Achi dora tamu, dore nangi tamu, achi ala tu. Achila do de pum macha de pum di chayu achila do de pum macha de pum chayu achila do De buma cha de bum chayu, de bum de gi ting la chayu, a chi la. So you know the song it continues describing different important places in Tibet like Debung. Then after that I will describe Gantin. Then I describe some places. Important places like Litang. Litang is the place where my father was born, and Litang was the place also where the seventh Dalai Lama was born. So like that, it continues. So do you like this song?
Então a música que eu cantei agora é uma música que vai descrevendo uma série de lugares importantes no Tibete. Começando por Jepun, passando por Sera e depois indo para Litang, que é o lugar onde o sétimo Dalai Lama nasceu. Vocês gostaram dessa música?
So, Valentin?
Yes.
Can you ask my friends if they have any questions for me?
O senhor Loten, ele está perguntando se vocês têm dúvidas, se vocês gostariam de fazer perguntas. Se vocês quiserem usar o chat e perguntar por escrito, eu também posso traduzir. There was a question previously, way previously. It's a question from Vera. She's
Vera?
asked, she wants to know about the songs of Mila Repa. She wants to know whether those were kept in the oral tradition or there was any type of like musical writing for them.
Yes, it's a very good question. Songs of Mila Repa, there are some books also in English translated, songs of 100,000 songs of Mila Repa or 1,000 songs of Mila Repa, I don't know, but depending on, the number of songs. So these songs, as I said before, the songs of Mila Repa, they were meant to kind of spread the religion, the main teachings of Buddha. When they sang these songs, in the beginning it was called Rangdang. Rangdang means it came out from, spontaneously. Many of these songs came out spontaneously, and then they were sung and then passed on to generations. So Jesu Mila Repa, when he sang these songs, the purpose of singing very melodically and beautifully is to attract attention of the people as he wandered from one place to another. So Jesu Mila Repa was a wanderer, and many of these great yogis, they were wanderers, so they wandered from one place to another. So there is no actual written notes of like what you have here in the West on the notes. We don't have that. And also, as you asked, if it is transmitted verbally from mouth to mouth, from person to person. Yes, so there's a transmission, and so it has been going on for many years. But I've been actually searching for authentic Tibetan, especially songs of Mila Repa. So there is one thing, if you go to the Kaguk monasteries, they have something called the Gurtsok, and where they do these Mila Repa chantings. But then again, in the Gurtsok, when they do this Mila Repa chantings, then it's like any monastic, whether in Nyingma or in other schools of thought, so they do this. How do you say? All the monks or the nuns, they sing together. So there are beautiful melodies, but mostly kind of not as I think Mila Repa used to sing. So when Mila Repa sang, or when these yogis sang, so they were individuals. So they sang most beautifully with long, stretching of these, how do you say, the verses. So it's much more stretched and more melodic than in the monastic recitations in singing. So I think, as far as I understand, because I traveled to Bhutan and I was in Nepal, I was in different Indian monasteries trying to find the melodies, and I never really found the old traditional melodies. Most of them, either it just finished or I don't know, it's just stopped. But there in Bhutan, I found some nice melodies, very different from the monastic melodies. So I think, yes, we don't have any notations as such, but since they are all orally transmitted, verbally transmitted, so kind of tradition carries on today, but it's not very fixed. So one of my main reasons why I'm singing melodic songs is because not only just the content. I mean, Mila Repa was a Tibetan. Buddhism came from India, so there are two types of literature in Tibet. One is the literature that came from India through Sanskrit tradition, and especially, and then also in Tibet we have our own traditional literature and art of singing and art of telling stories. So this is a little bit of two different things, two different literatures. So Mila Repa songs are amazing because they're very simple. They are not very kind of bombastic, very kind of words with a lot of meanings behind, where you can, take out a whole book and explain the very bombastic words of one certain text. But Mila Repa is more, the singing and the culture of Mila Repa is very kind of, very, how do I say, as I said before, yeah, very kind of Tibetan literature. So in that way, Tibetan singing is so beautiful. We have a saying in Tibet, behind every mountain, there is a new song. So Tibet is an ocean. Tibet is a mountain full of songs, like ocean full of songs, So now when you talk in terms of written thing, we call it puzi. Puzi means in Chinese notation, but we don't have our own actual notation. Of course, if you see in the, recently I found some
translation.
Recently I found some notation, the monastic notations, So please translate. Yes, sorry.
Então, é importante lembrar que as canções de Mila Repa, elas têm o objetivo de propagar a religião, né? Elas eram canções que tinham esse objetivo. Então, quando Mila Repa e outros grandes yogis, eles cantavam de forma muito espontânea, né? Como se eles estivessem inspirados mesmo por esses ensinamentos. Então, não tinha uma notação, não tinha um sistema. Daí é claro que muito tempo depois, por exemplo, nos grandes mosteiros da tradição Kagyu, né, onde os mestres, os grandes mestres dessa escola, eles cantam as canções de Mila Repa, eles aprendem de uma determinada forma, né? Existe um jeito de aprender a cantar essas canções, mas eu tenho certeza que eles não cantam como Mila Repa cantava, né, de forma espontânea. A gente não tem um sistema de notação musical, né, como existe no Ocidente. Mas é claro que a gente aprende a cantar essas canções de alguma forma. Eu viajei bastante, né, eu fui para o Butão, eu fui para Nepal, e eu conheci diferentes sistemas, né, conheci diferentes formas de cantar essas canções e percebi que existem variações, sim, né, para cada uma dessas canções. O mais interessante é que, apesar da gente, quando a gente explica a música tradicional, a gente fala que a gente usa um sistema de notação conhecido como Puzi, que é um sistema chinês, mas na verdade ele não é nosso, né? Não é o nosso jeito de fazer a música. O Tibete, ele tem uma variedade muito grande de músicas, de tradições musicais, digamos assim. Então a gente tem um ditado popular tibetano que diz que atrás de cada montanha tem uma música nova, tem uma musicalidade nova. Então é como se o Tibete ele fosse realmente um oceano de músicas, né? De variedades musicais.
Yes, so we don't have our own kind of music notation, but we have something called do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, which is also like, the sa, re, ga, ma, pa, the Indian tradition, which is a little bit similar. But on the other hand, we have this monastic notation for, the clarinet and for some melodies. But these are all very kind of basic notations compared to the Western modern notation. It's very, very basic. So, so what I'm trying to say here is that, yes, basically we are all, I mean, as I said before, Tibet is full of songs. And actually, we Tibetans have so many different kinds of singing styles. We had so many, but because when China came in Tibet and destroyed so much of our culture, not only the religious culture, but also the folk culture, China tried to synthesize, change the Tibetan art of singing to the Chinese way of singing or the Chinese art of singing by the nostril, you can easily, Tibetan singing is very much similar to, for example, the black, in Africa. If you listen to the blues, the first blues of Africa, when these painful slaves, the slaves when they were singing most painfully, most amazingly passionately. So if you listen to some of these songs, the Tibetan songs are very similar to that also, and I said also to Fado. So it's kind of also very mountainous. Because of the mountains, we have a very kind of a long stretching. For example, I'll sing you a song. This is a song from Kam, and it's a song from the mountains by the warriors from one point of a hill or a mountain to the next, reaching to the next mountain. So I will see. Nge payu seshul dumbares, sersebur payu tens. Nge pama musho kaburu, mukaburu pama tens. So I'm giving you a different art of singing. I already showed you the traditional, little bit of classical. Now I'm the spiritual, and now this is a mountain song of the great warriors of Tibet.
Então, a gente não tem a nossa própria, o nosso próprio sistema de notação. A gente já usou um sistema indiano, né, que é muito parecido com esse nosso sistema do do, ré, mi, fá, sol, lá, si. A gente tem um sistema de notação muito básico, muito simples, que é usado nos mosteiros para ensinar os instrumentos musicais, né? Alguns instrumentos usados nos mosteiros, mas ele é muito simples se comparado ao sistema de notação utilizado no Ocidente já há algum tempo. Essas canções, elas são... eu mostrei para vocês alguns tipos de canções, né? As canções clássicas, as canções populares, eu mostrei agora um pouco para vocês as canções espirituais, mas existem também as canções que a gente chama das canções das montanhas, do povo Kan, né, que é um povo de tradição, eles são conhecidos como guerreiros, né, os guerreiros do Tibete, e ele é esse canto mais, como se fosse uma declamação, né, como se estivesse declamando um poema. Say. So this is one way of singing. So I showed you different, and now because the lady asked about Mila Repa songs, I'm going to sing you a Mila Repa song, and after that I will sing you one more song of classical Tibetan style of singing, and then Jigmila and Wellington should decide when I should stop this beautiful moment. And you can still ask me questions because today I'm more free. I'm thinking about tomorrow because tomorrow I have a very, very important work to do, which is to compose a song for His Holiness Dalai Lama with a beautiful pianist on a classical piano. So I don't know, because the timing falls exactly in this time. So I don't know how I'm be able to reach, but since today, yeah, some of you can still have me for the next couple of,
you know, there are so many songs. We Tibetans have so many songs. So if you ask me to sing the whole night, I will sing for you the whole day. But I think this is not so good because you have to go and eat and also go out a little bit or whatever. But I'm going to sing you a song of Mila Repa. And this song is a song amazing because this is a song about, how do you say, you know, now especially now in Brazil, you know, there is so much cases of coronavirus, you know, in China, in, you know, everywhere in this world. So this song is about impermanence, you know, and also really deep inside Mila Repa, you know, he says to himself that, you know, there's so much suffering in this world that I want to spend my whole life, you know, for the service of others, you know, so to bring happiness and joy. And so if I can attain this, you know, the aim of his recluse up in the mountains, praying for the long life, for the goodness of all sentient beings, then he said, what else can I ask for? So this is a beautiful song, and I want to dedicate this to many people on this earth who have died because of this Chinese coronavirus or COVID-19. I have a problem here a little bit because in the beginning of internet, I said Chinese coronavirus, and there are some people, of course, the Chinese agents and all, they told me that, you know, this is wrong, and they made a whole fuss. But of course, the main reason why I say it's Chinese virus is because, you know, before even coronavirus came, you know, I'm an animal activist, not only activist for Tibet, but out of my great compassion, out of the teachings that I've received from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. My mother was a nun, my father was a monk, so there has been so much of love and, you know, kind of compassion in my family and care for other living beings around us that when I saw so much of killings, you know, these killing just for selfishness, just to eat something more exotic, for some sexual or for some purposes, they kill so many beautiful animals, and the animals that are going on extinct only because of these people who, out of their own greed, to eat something more exotic so that they get some power. So I was against this. And then this, as I've seen in many of the internet pages in Wuhan, especially in the wet market of Wuhan, how the animals are treated there, how they are being killed for selfish reason, for greed. You know, I couldn't sleep for days and days, so much of pain. I cannot do anything but except to pray, like millions, what they can also in the same position as I am. But somewhere when coronavirus came out, I felt this is the chance to say now, stop killing these animals. We need them. We need them because they are so beautiful. This world belongs to them also, not just human beings. So then it culminated, it came together between Tibet freedom, the freedom of the animals who are being killed, you know, mercilessly in Wuhan. So all that thing culminated together. And then I really, you know, said that, you know, it's not hatred against Chinese people, but it must be stopped. And you must tell them, wake up, this is not right. So then I started saying Chinese warriors because the Chinese people, they must take responsibility for what they have caused. It's not only the government, but the Chinese people also, they must take responsibility to bring their, you know, this evil government of Communist Party down. So that's why I kind of was very vociferous. And so I want to dedicate this song of Mila Repa to all beings, you know, not only human beings, but to all those animals who are being mercilessly killed, suffering. So this is a beautiful song by Mila Repa.
Então agora eu gostaria de cantar uma outra música de Mila Repa. Esta fala sobre a impermanência, né, e fala também sobre o desejo profundo dele de que todos os seres estejam bem, que não há nada no mundo que ele deseje mais do que o bem de todos os seres sencientes, né? E é importante também lembrar que existe um movimento, né, que fala sobre a Covid-19, né, e a pandemia do coronavírus terem a sua origem na China, em Wuhan, né? E eu tenho falado sobre isso não com uma intenção de falar, condenar o povo chinês, mas eu acho que é um momento oportuno para a gente evidenciar algumas injustiças, né? Por exemplo, as injustiças que acontecem nos mercados de animais, né? Onde aqueles animais são tão maltratados, são tão violentados, e muitos deles são mortos simplesmente porque as pessoas querem comer algo mais exótico, né? Ou porque elas querem sacrificar algum tipo de animal exótico. E quando eu vi as notícias sobre esses mercados em Wuhan, eu fiquei muito chocado, né? Além de ser um ativista pelo Tibete, eu sou um ativista também pelos animais, né? Eu fui ensinado numa família onde minha mãe era uma monja e meu pai um monge. Então eu fui ensinado tudo sobre compaixão, bondade amorosa, e por isso eu sentia muita pena daqueles animais. E eu fazia a única coisa que dava para fazer, que era rezar, né? Então eu decidi usar minha voz também para mostrar para as pessoas, para as pessoas chinesas, que eu sei que não são pessoas ruins, mas que precisam se responsabilizar por isso, precisam se responsabilizar por como esses animais que estão entrando, muitas espécies entrando em extinção, elas precisam ser preservadas, né? Então eu gostaria de dedicar essa canção de Mila Repa não só a todos os seres humanos, mas também a todos os animais, né? Que todos os seres sencientes possam se beneficiar dela.
Je la mets kula so ade transi sin bo chinge Maki ba nyengi mato o shin duba tai mato rite diru uchi na nenjo samba to bai geba togi mato Oshin Nawasime Matowar Rita Diru Ina Nejo Samba Azobai Shiwami Mato Oshin Roru Chai Matomar Rite Diru Ina Nejo Samba do bain mi me lung be cha pu tu chang bo chi we melandi Joe turn du te pa shu te na samba do ba So this is again a song out of singing of Mila Repa's song and the spiritual. So I will sing one more song, and if you still like, I could sing one or two more, depending on how you want to do. And maybe you are all hungry now after having breakfast. Now I don't know how long did I speak, but the important thing is, I think one of the main important thing, I think, to have Tibet House in Brazil is amazing. Because through that, you don't have to go to Tibet, which is almost impossible, unless you are directed by the Chinese themselves to show who you are and where you go, and this culture, which is totally ridiculous. But I think through Brazil Tibet House, you will come across many of this wonderful Tibetan culture, and especially Buddhism. And I think many great lamas also come there. And hopefully I'll be able to come one day with my very simple instrument, the Tibetan lute, and I'll be able to sing. So I want to sing you one song, and this song I always sing to the, especially for the young Tibetans. And this song is an amazing song, and also the singer, he lived in the 30s, 1930s, and he was, in fact, he's like the most famous, most wonderful, most amazing Tibetan musician and a singer who lived in the 30s and 40s. His name is Ajahn Namgyal. So the story about Ajahn Namgyal is very, very sad, but also something to celebrate, because, of course, he was born just as a normal child, but because his parents were so poor in Langdul, the place called Thapo Langdul, in Tibet. So his parents were so poor that they were selling, twigs, how do you say, woods collecting woods from the, the forest, and then sell it in the market or to the people. So that's how they lived, the family. So when Ajahn Namgyal was born, he was born just normal, but because they were so poor, and when the family was going to collect woods, this little boy was, he used to be put somewhere, and in a safe place around the stones, and, while they were collecting woods. But unfortunately, from above came the crows, the crows, wah, wah, crows, and then it took both ears away from the little child, and he became blind. Of course, for him, it is very sad that he became blind, but this child, through this blindness, came another thing, by nature or by his very talent that came out. He became a great musician, and he's one of the greatest Tibetan musicians. And he, in fact, sang this and composed this song. And I try to sing this song to pass it to the next generation, the Tibetan. And this is the classical Tibetan, the classical version of Tibetan songs.
Então, eu cantei agora uma música de Mila Repa e eu vou cantar uma segunda música. Acho que depois disso a gente pode terminar. Vocês devem estar com fome, devem querer almoçar. Essa música é uma música contemporânea. Ela é de um músico tibetano chamado Loten Namling. Ele viveu nos anos 30, 40, produziu essas músicas nos anos 30, 40, E ele tem uma história muito interessante, né? Ele nasceu numa família muito pobre, que sobrevivia de vender lenha, né? Eles coletavam lenha na floresta e vendiam na cidade. Em uma dessas ocasiões, os pais dele deixaram ele num lugar próximo de onde eles estavam trabalhando na floresta e deixaram ele entre algumas pedras e algumas madeiras, porque ele era muito pequeno, um bebezinho. E, infelizmente, alguns corvos apareceram e bicaram os olhos dele e ele ficou cego. Infelizmente, ele ficou cego, mas ele usou digamos assim, essa limitação dele para impulsionar um talento, né, uma habilidade, que era a habilidade da música. Então, ele se tornou, sem dúvida nenhuma, o maior músico tibetano contemporâneo. E eu vou agora mostrar para vocês uma das canções dele.
Okay. So this song is very special for me, especially because it connects to me also. My mother taught me this song when I was a little boy. And then actually this song, Shunsep, my mother was a nun before I was born. And so this is actually song describes the beautiful nunnery, which was somewhere up in the mountains north of Lhasa, and that's where my mother used to meditate for 7 years. She meditated up there, and she's also a Jitsunma. She's called Jitsun, Namseling Jitsun. Namseling is my family, and my father comes from Kam, and this is a song which always, when I sing, reminds of two people. This is Ajunamjel and my mother.
Então, essa música para mim ela é muito especial. Quem me ensinou foi a minha mãe. Antes de me ter, a minha mãe era uma monja, né? Ela era uma monja desta região, né? Onde ela meditou por 7 anos, praticou meditação por 7 anos. E essa música descreve exatamente este mosteiro, né? Este convento de monjas budistas onde a minha mãe praticou por 7 anos. A minha mãe é uma jitsuma, né? Ela é uma grande praticante, e esta música, então, toda vez que eu toco ela, eu lembro de 2 pessoas. Eu lembro da minha mãe e lembro do Achung Namgyal.
Oh Yeah, so that's a classical Tibetan song called dois, and before I was singing this Nangma. So they are different, you know, Tibet is full of singing culture. And as I said, most of the Tibetan art of singing, amazing art of singing and dancing is lost because of the Chinese invasion. You know, we Tibetans have been telling the world, we know China so well because we have suffered so much. More than 1.5 million Tibetans died under the Chinese invasion. You know, more than 6,000 monasteries were destroyed. The aim of China was to completely annihilate the Tibetan culture and art of, you know, our traditions such as music and whatever. Anything that is Tibetan, they wanted to destroy it, but they could not do it because the spirit of Tibet is so strong that no matter how much they tried to destroy us, we rose up because of His Holiness Dalai Lama's leadership. So many great lamas, so many great musicians who escaped Tibet, they were able to rise and, you know, put the seed in the, you know, in the new generation that is to come. And my generation now, I'm the second generation, and I'm trying to bring these songs to the next generation so that before I die, you know, the next generation, they can pick up our songs, because that's exactly what I did. When I was a little boy, I picked up these songs because it was so amazing. And so now I try to bring it with that same spirit to the next generation. And this is my, or our, you know, in fact, Tibetan culture is actually a world heritage, you know, which China tried to destroy. And now look at how much suffering the Chinese Communist Party, few of those Chinese up there in the leadership, they have so much greed and only for themselves, and they destroyed so much in Tibet, and now they're destroying the world. So, I mean, all these songs that I sang, I just want to bring it to the next generation with a positive thinking that we can build up after this coronavirus, you see. So can you explain that? And then I will sing one more song. This is a Tibetan rap, an old Tibetan rap. So before the Americans started rapping, we Tibetans have been rapping already, you know. So we Tibetans rap for centuries. So I will give you a rap and then we can stop here. And then we can quickly discuss about tomorrow, because I don't know now how much I sang. How many hours did I sing, Valentina?
Yeah, we went.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you tell me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very less. Can you tell me?
Oh, yeah, we went over time.
Okay, that's good. So the overtime is then tomorrow I'm free.
Okay.
So I don't think tomorrow so many people will come, because I think you all had a good time today. I hope so. So
Hello?
first explain what I said before.
Hello? Ondela.
Can you please, Valentina, can you say something? Can you explain what I said before?
I think Jigmela is speaking to you.
No, but first you explain. I will listen to Jimla later. First you explain.
O que o senhor Namling estava falando agora há pouco é que ele acabou de cantar essa canção, né, que vem que fala sobre esse convento no Tibete, e que para ele é muito importante recuperar essas memórias, porque são memórias que foram aos poucos sendo destruídas pela invasão chinesa, né? Então ele sabe muito bem a dor que foi, a dor que é, né, essa repressão que se deu tanto no aspecto religioso quanto no aspecto cultural, e junto com isso a música tibetana também, né, quase foi apagada da história, mas que por conta dos antepassados, né, das gerações anteriores, essas sementes de cultura, elas foram sendo preservadas e plantadas na próxima geração, e por isso ele, junto com outros, puderam preservar isso e promover isso para que as pessoas hoje em dia conheçam. Então, por mais que tenham havido essas repetidas tentativas de destruir essas manifestações culturais, o espírito do Tibete é um espírito muito forte, então ele persiste, né? Ele perdura.
Did you explain?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, I think Jimila. Hello. So I will sing one song, and then I will ask Jimila to conclude, and you can conclude also.
Okay.
Can Jingmila hear me?
Yeah,
Hello.
Sani karchigimbe.
Sani chesanta
Sani.
la.
Sani karchigimbe.
chesanta sani tuzu chikba dele nga chuzu nga wal ya di yuba kasa tuzu tsuimba.
제가 까망가 용고 책을 가서 당아도 announce 제자로 프로그램 뱃 캔슬
네네 디 제든 지기래 얘기 말다 야 디 선이 가서 디 디레 네 선이 nga 사지 심바지는 nga 미게 미게 제고 당아 지기래 선이 지기도 다 제션 지기래 okay jingla as you announce I will do 1 hour tomorrow 1 hour
yeah tomorrow he'll do 1 hour Valentine please announce this
so if they are Valentine. So I cannot hear you very well, but something wrong with maybe the Chinese virus came in my phone, so I can't hear you now. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So does anybody have a question? One last question.
Alguém tem alguma pergunta?
Yes.
I would like just to say thank you very much for this.
That was not a question. You just want to say thank you. Okay. Now I will do a last song, a rap. It's a rapping. And so let's do the rap. Okay?
Então agora eu vou fazer uma última música que é no formato de rap.
Oh, sorry. I do a rap. And if you want me to sing again for 1 or 2 songs, I can do that. I see some people there, new faces. 하결로 세베 텐데 루결로 세베 텐데 데릭남라 까마사베 텐데 다나살라 산도주베 텐데 라 쿠쇼 라제가 사베 투투가 다라카네 용베 손주 라제가 사베 투투가 다라카네 용베 늘루슈고 주나 라 쿠쇼 다라요 용바 샤도지 세베 군데네요 타가르고 모션도 나바레네 쩌네요 아로나 주시도 쇼교를 늘려네요 야가 찾주신도 조개를 잡네요 lumba 짜메나라 짜나레레 차네요 lumba 추메나라 추나레레 차네요 장아자 담고 칼라 또네요 바찬이바 잡라케네요 지자숨바 답라케네요 라 우슈 당고 예베 밀럼 투숨 저게 전제제 미마부 잘라로 밀럼 자와 탐제캔바 시티슈브 밀럼 저조 비리 미마 벌로로 밀럼 시지 비리 빈다 고수도 밀럼 데미 세게템바 다시 게 밀럼 샵시 가베가라 토르다 밀럼 샵에 따바기게 데시밀로지 모모 고수를 자도 깨바든데 제가 삼배도 카다케 이겨서 쇼자라고 저도 슈베 밀럼 다솔라 라 제가 선배도 눌라 별 시바차베 차라쇼고 손주 라 별 시바차베 차라쇼고 주나 탄질이 두브라 강기당 탄질이 두브라 베메당 베메라 당기 당기나 타질이 두브라 강기자 타질이 두브라 도지자 도지의 자기 작대나 신질이 두브라 강기신 신질이 두브라 젠대신 젠대의 신제나 차질이 두브라 강기자 차질이 두브라 세르기자 세자라지 자상직 자사라지 나 공아라지니 하사율 하사라미 닭바당 공아라지니 종계율 종계의 민주 렉바당 공아라지니 도도율 도도의 미 초가당 공아라지니 도도율 도도의 따이 초가당 해사자 길라자 삼예마자 삼예점이 길라자 금방 delako genjawa tenzi ja zoyi la ha shibe la de ka sabe tunjugi jaba kaboda na sheba ayu sonju la toba ayu sonju sheba toba me jaga kane yonga jaba kaboda na sheba toba puna yela jaga bota ba jaga chugi ke be cholu yola jana bota ba jana sigi ke be cholu talo dunle ka ba thado ke be cholu pegola ninda jaba uge be me cholu la la dubuta ba kache be cholu omolo ozanda ba tsizirame la yu ja shibe la jaga sabe tunjula shedan shibdu eshisu shedan shibdu meshi jaga kane yonga shibdu jago sanne hango bula nyu shibdu jada manje bulel hamdi tosu hamdi to ba mase sala kanje shayu kanje shago mase tashi taje shayu la tala shifu yala tashi yangja o ya diga Brazil Tibet house la shane rang yu cholo londal ha chalo So this is a Tibetan rap, and this is a rap to wish everyone, not just human beings, but all the sentient beings, happiness. And this is a rap especially for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You know, he is becoming 85 years old this year. And his sister, Jujun Pemala, she's becoming 80. So, you know, we Tibetans are so indebted to these two people. Jujun Pema, she's the mother of Tibet, and His Holiness Dalai Lama. Without His Holiness Dalai Lama, today you wouldn't be, you know, listening to me. The Tibetans wouldn't be in this diaspora. We would be locked up somewhere in Tibet, in China, in the, you know, in the ghettos, just like the Uyghurs, just like what's happening in Hong Kong. It's so terrible what the Communist Party of China is doing, destruction. So because of His Holiness Dalai Lama, we are able to sit here very comfortably, even in this very difficult times of coronavirus, which they unleashed on this world. But still, because of His blessing, we are able to proudly present you our culture. And so I pray this is to His Holiness Dalai Lama, and I will sing you the last song, a Tibetan opera. And this opera song is a song for, you know, for Tibet, for all sentient beings, for the whole world. And I think this is a prayer from the depth of my heart to all of you, for His Holiness Dalai Lama, for long life, for Jujun Pemala, for long life, and for all sentient beings. And I really pray that this Communist Party will come to an end very soon, and that there will be peace. And I'm not politically correct in many ways. I say it from my heart, because there's so many suffering in this world, and the cause of this suffering must end. And this is the Communist Party and the CCP, or the leaders in China. So with this, I'm going to do for you a Tibetan opera song to wish you Tashi Telek also in your own life. So today you can think that Loten Namling, the Tibetan singer, sometimes they call me Tutok Tangtong Gyalpo, sometimes they call me in different names, but whatever, I want to sing you one song, and with that I will say Tashi Telek.
Então, esse rap é um oferecimento para todos vocês no Brasil, para Tibet House Brasil, e também para a sua santidade, o Dalai Lama, e para Jetsuma Pema, que é a irmã do Dalai Lama. Ela é uma mãe do Tibete, né? Ela é uma mãe para nós tibetanos, e sem a ajuda de sua santidade, Dalai Lama, nós, enquanto povo, nós não poderíamos ter encontrado segurança em refúgio. Nós estaríamos todos presos, né, no Tibete ocupado, assim como os outros milhões estão hoje, e vocês não estariam me ouvindo e ouvindo tantos outros grandes professores. Então, eu realmente com isso desejo que a situação política na China possa mudar, que as pessoas possam ter liberdade, né, e que a gente possa encontrar uma nova situação e, infelizmente, hoje nos priva, né, de mostrar a cultura, e que a nossa cultura possa prosperar. E daí eu gostaria de terminar com uma ópera tibetana.
So, Tashi Delek.
Então,
I want to say hello to individually all of you. So individually you talk to me, everybody.
então eu gostaria de falar oi para cada um de vocês. Então, se vocês quiserem falar individualmente comigo, fiquem à vontade.
So starting from the first woman, how are you, Tashi Delek?
Então, começando pela Joana, como vai você?
Muito bem e muito linda.
Tashi Delek, long live.
Obrigada.
Vida longa a você. Então, a próxima é Silvia.
So you enjoyed?
Very, very much. Thank you very much.
So yeah, so see you tomorrow, or tell your friends to see tomorrow, and wish you a
Okay.
very good life, and I pray for this coronavirus to be gone very soon, okay?
Amanhã nós
Thank
temos
you.
uma hora de apresentação e a gente pode rezar
Yeah,
mais.
so there are a couple of people there. So Tashi Delek,
A Maria,
Isso. Muito bom.
have a nice day, and maybe see you tomorrow. I will sing tomorrow. I have a tomorrow. Tomorrow I have a pianist. We are actually doing a song for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So if she agrees, we can just do a little bit of singing. Otherwise, I will do something. Okay. So long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and long live Jizun Pema. Long live all human beings. Our friendship. I pray for so many Chinese people who are suffering in China because of their very cruel leadership, that they will be soon relieved of their cruel leadership, and then coronavirus will be washed away, and that there will be peace and love and a lot of economic prosperity all over the world. So I want to thank finally Tibet House Brazil, Jigmila, the representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama, for inviting me. We know each other since many years, and he's a great man, and please support him. He needs a lot of your support, because Tibet needs a lot of support. And if you support Jigmila, then you support Tibet also. And I always say to many people also, people who are practicing Buddhism, that they should support Tibet, because when they are practicing Dharma, Buddhist Dharma, this whole Buddhist Dharma has been preserved by the Tibetan people for centuries. And we have preserved it so well that today, His Holiness Dalai Lama, great masters have come to outside the world, outside Tibet, to the world, and able to, give it to you as a present. And I think I can very rudely say that you should thank the Tibetan people and thank His Holiness Dalai Lama, thank so many great masters. And the only way to thank them for giving you such a great religion, such a great philosophy, way of life, is because Tibetan people preserved them for you. So in order to say thank you, the best is to support Tibet. So please do that. This is my message to you. My singing is, I always say, this is my dharma. I don't sing to earn money. I don't sing to become famous. I only sing to carry the message, and I only sing because this is my dharma practice, and I believe in it, and therefore I'm singing it for you. Tashi Delek and Pögyalo, and let's free ourselves from coronavirus very soon. Tashi Delek.
Thank you. Thank you.
Então, eu agradeço Sua Santidade Dalai Lama, agradeço o Jetsun Pema, agradeço a Tibet House Brasil, o Digme, né, que é uma pessoa que eu conheço há muitos anos. Peço que vocês, por favor, deem apoio a ele, né, ele precisa de apoio, e ao apoiar o Digme, vocês estão apoiando o Tibete, né. Então, é muito importante que, principalmente aqueles que praticam budismo, tenham esse senso de gratidão em relação ao Dalai Lama e os grandes mestres, porque eles é quem, a muito custo, preservaram, né, essa bonita religião que hoje em dia é compartilhada no Ocidente. Então, é importante que a gente tenha esse senso de gratidão, que a gente reconheça isso. Eu desejo a vocês, então, bênçãos, né? Desejo auspiciosidade a vocês e que logo nós estejamos livres desse coronavírus.
Só que
Ok.
pedir para que todos
Bye bye.
convidar mais pessoas para a apresentação de amanhã, se vocês gostaram.
Yes.
Muito bem. Então, muito obrigado, Digme. Obrigado, Elisa, por se juntar a nós. E a gente se vê amanhã, então, às 10h30.
Thank you. Bye bye.